Content marketing generates 3 times more leads than paid advertising while costing 62% less. Yet most businesses are creating content that gets likes and shares but zero sales. The difference between content that entertains and content that converts comes down to understanding one fundamental shift in strategy that changes everything. Welcome back to KB Bluetree, where we show you how to turn marketing efforts into actual revenue instead of just vanity metrics. We've analyzed thousands of content strategies across every industry and discovered something critical. The businesses winning with content are not creating more content. They are creating content with a completely different purpose and structure than everyone else. Today, we are revealing the exact framework for using content to drive sales consistently. You are going to learn why most content fails to convert, the strategic shift that transforms engagement into revenue, and the step-by-step system for creating content that guides people from awareness to purchase. Whether you are blogging, making videos, or posting on social media, this framework will show you how to make every piece of content a sales asset. Let us break down what actually works. Problem here is the frustrating reality most content creators face right now. You're publishing consistently, maybe 3 to 5 times per week across multiple platforms. You're putting real effort into creating valuable information, helpful tips, and engaging visuals. Your content is getting decent engagement with likes, comments, and shares. People tell you they love your content and find it helpful. But when you look at your actual sales numbers, there is almost no correlation between your content performance and your revenue. You had a post go viral last month with 50,000 views, and it generated exactly 2 sales. Meanwhile, your bank account does not reflect all the time and energy you are investing in content creation. You are essentially running a free education platform instead of a profitable business. The disconnect is maddening because you have been told that content marketing works. You see other businesses crediting their content for massive growth, but your content just sits there, accumulating engagement that never turns into customers. You are starting to wonder if content marketing is just another overhyped strategy that only works for people who already have audiences. Here is what is actually happening. Most content is designed to attract attention, not drive decisions. You are creating content that makes people feel good or teaches them something interesting. Then they scroll away and forget about you. Your content is competing with entertainment, and even when you win attention, you are not moving people toward a purchase decision. The root cause is a fundamental misunderstanding of what content marketing actually means. Content marketing is not about creating content and hoping it somehow leads to sales. It is about strategically using content to move people through a decision-making process. Every piece of content should serve a specific purpose in your sales funnel. It should answer a specific question, overcome a specific objection, or create a specific realization that makes buying the logical next step. Most creators approach content like they are building a media company. They optimize for views, engagement, and virality. But those metrics mean nothing if they do not translate to revenue. The businesses succeeding with content understand that content is not the product. It is the bridge between the problem and the solution. Every piece of content should either attract the right people, build trust and authority, or directly facilitate a buying decision. So what actually works when using content to drive consistent sales? After studying hundreds of businesses that generate millions in revenue through content, we have identified the exact system. Here's what you need to implement. Solutions first. Create content mapped to specific stages of customer awareness. Not all content should target the same audience. Some people do not even know they have a problem yet. Others know the problem, but do not know solutions exist. Build awareness stage content that identifies problems people did not realize they had. Create consideration stage content that presents your solution framework. Develop decision stage content that addresses objections and comparisons. When you map content to awareness stages, every piece moves people forward instead of just entertaining them. Second, implement the problem, agitation, solution framework in every piece of content you create. Start by clearly describing a specific problem your audience faces. Get specific about the frustration, the consequences, the emotional impact. Then agitate that problem by showing why it is worse than they think, or why ignoring it creates bigger issues. Finally, present your solution as the logical answer. This framework transforms educational content into persuasive content that naturally leads to your offer. Third, Build content bridges that connect educational topics to your paid solutions. Your content should educate people on concepts while simultaneously showing them why implementing those concepts requires your product or service. For example, if you teach social media strategy, your content should explain the framework while demonstrating why executing it effectively requires your templates or your course. The content provides value while creating desire for the solution. Fourth, use strategic calls to action that match the content depth and audience readiness. Not every piece of content should ask for a sale. Awareness stage content should ask for email signups or lead magnet downloads. Consideration stage content should invite people to webinars or case studies. Decision stage content should directly ask for purchases with clear benefit statements. Matching your call to action to the content stage prevents asking for too much too soon. Fifth, create content sequences instead of isolated posts that build toward conversion. One piece of content rarely converts anyone, but a sequence of content that builds on itself creates momentum. Design mini courses or tutorial sequences where each piece builds on the previous one and creates anticipation for the next. These sequences keep people engaged over time and naturally culminate in an offer that feels like the obvious next step. Now let us talk implementation. Start by auditing your existing content and categorizing it by awareness stage. Most people discover they have tons of awareness content and almost nothing for consideration or decision stages. Identify the gaps in your content funnel and prioritize creating content for those missing stages. Next, choose your 3 biggest customer objections and create comprehensive content that addresses each one thoroughly. If people worry your solution is too complicated, create content showing how simple implementation really is. If they question whether it works for their situation, create case studies showing diverse results. This content eliminates barriers between interest and purchase. Then map out a signature content sequence that takes someone from cold to customer. This could be a 5-part email course or a weekly video series. Each piece should build on the previous and create natural momentum toward your offer. Make sure the transition from free education to paid offer feels natural and valuable. Finally, analyze your content performance through the lens of business results, not engagement metrics. Track which content pieces actually lead to sales. Use tracking links or unique discount codes to understand what content converts. Double down on creating more content similar to what drives revenue and stop wasting time on content that only generates vanity metrics. Success story. Let us talk about Jack, a productivity software founder who is creating content consistently for over a year. He published 3 blog posts per week, posted daily on LinkedIn, and created weekly YouTube videos. His content was getting decent engagement with 8,000 YouTube subscribers and hundreds of blog views, but his software had only 37 paying customers, and his growth had stalled. Jack was frustrated because he was doing everything content marketing experts recommended. He was showing up consistently and providing value, but his business was barely covering costs. We analyzed his content and immediately identified the problem. Every single piece of content he created was awareness stage material. He was teaching basic productivity concepts to beginners. His content attracted curious browsers, not people actively seeking solutions. We worked with Jack to completely restructure his content strategy. First, we mapped content to awareness stages, kept some beginner content but added substantial consideration and decision stage material. We created in-depth tutorials showing his software solving specific problems. We developed comparison content addressing why his approach differed from competitors. We built case study content featuring customer transformations with specific results. Then we implemented the problem, agitation, solution framework in everything. Instead of generic productivity tips, his content started with specific frustrations like spending 2 hours daily just figuring out what to work on. He agitated these problems by showing the long-term cost of inefficient systems. Then, he presented his software as the solution with specific demonstrations. We created a signature 5-part email course called the Productivity System Blueprint that he promoted through his content. This course walked people through building a complete productivity system while naturally demonstrating why his software made implementation easier. We added strategic calls to action to his existing content, matching the depth of ask to audience readiness. The results transformed his entire business within 4 months. His software customers increased from 37 to over 400. His monthly recurring revenue went from barely covering costs to over $20,000. He was creating less content and getting better results. His conversion rate from subscriber to customer increased by over 600%. Jack told us the breakthrough came when he stopped trying to be a productivity educator and started being a productivity solution provider. His content shifted from teaching concepts to facilitating decisions. Now every piece of content he creates serves a specific purpose in moving people toward becoming customers. Recap. Let us quickly recap the framework for using content to drive sales. Map content to specific customer awareness stages. Implement the problem agitation solution framework in every piece. Build content bridges that connect education to paid solutions. Use strategic calls to action that match audience readiness, and create content sequences that build momentum toward conversion. These elements transform content from entertainment into a strategic sales asset. Call to action here is your immediate action step. Audit 5 pieces of your best performing content right now and identify what awareness stage they serve. Then identify your biggest content gap and commit to creating 3 pieces of content for that stage this month. Focus on moving people forward, not just engaging them. Track which content actually leads to sales and let those results guide your future content creation. If this video gave you clarity on turning content into revenue, like this video and subscribe to KB Bluetree for more strategies that focus on business results instead of vanity metrics. And if you are ready to build a content strategy that actually drives sales, check out our other KB Bluetree channel focused on productivity and career development, where we cover advanced content marketing and conversion optimization. Remember this: content without conversion is just expensive entertainment. Every piece of content you create should serve your business goals, not just your ego metrics. Build content that moves people toward decisions and watch your revenue grow. Now go create content that actually matters. We will see you in the next video.